love Peter. Could Peter just also say? So I was glad that was meaningful. I just
Oh, thank you for asking, and that sort of pushed me to I'd been raising my hand from the beginning because of just the stuff going on in the neighborhood with DHS and with the people being bussed up from Texas, are being dropped all over the place. They don't have any resources. There's a group that's come together to provide resources for for the big one on Central Park West. But last night, on my way home, I got stopped for 20 minutes because there were people from a hotel. There was a family, a young family from Venezuela that was unable. They were Spanish speakers, and they were looking for food at 6 o'clock at night. And it's just like, oh my God.
These are the people that have been bussed in from Texas. These are the
yes. And DHS is not, as far as I can tell. Look, I'm not an expert. But my experience is that I'm not getting any sense of where they're landing. This family, the families. My understanding, there's 90 some families at Park West Hotel on 107th and Central Park West. But this family was from 101st or 102nd Street and Broadway, which to me says the Marseille, but it could be the one across the street, that used to operate there. So I'm getting a sense that they're all over the place. I know the Church of St. Paul and St. Andrew has 5 people. They've sent 3 of them on to relatives and gotten another 3. They're dealing with individuals. In most of these places, the people cannot cook. So they're forced to eat other food that's already prepared and either more expensive or not very nutritious, is my take on it.
Well, this is a crisis. It sounds to me, I don't want to be inflammatory, but I know we're off topic, and I see that our co-chair has joined, Linda. And but this is very. I have to imagine that our elected officials should be aware of how many of these people are in our district and throughout the city, and what we can do about it. So that's a separate. We're off topic, but that's
way off topic. And I'm sorry.
But Max here is from our district management office, and I'm so glad you mentioned it, because that's a huge issue, and we obviously care about these people. And,
it's off topic. So look forward to the. You're muted, Linda.
Okay.
I don't think
we have quorum.
We do?
Yes, because Andrew is technically not a member this month of the committee.
Right.
He's the acting chair.
Okay, is Andrew here?
Not right now. But it's you, me, Doug, and Josh.
It's 4.
Exactly.
That's not a quorum. You need 5. We have 8 people.
We have 7 people.
Oh, we have 7 people?
We're not counting Andrew.
Oh, we're not counting it? That's right. Okay.
So we have quorum, so we can start.
And I gather I'm taking minutes.
I'll take them later on. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Okay, so
Peter, I don't want to sound like we're being supercilious about this. This is a hideous situation, and the fact of the matter is, we are, the mayor is aware, everybody's aware of it. They just don't know what to do because everybody's come at one time. So they'll figure it out, and they will.
Okay, so I'd like to welcome everyone to our BCI meeting.
Andrew here.
September 14th. There's Andrew.
Hello, sorry about that.
That's all right. So we actually only have not all the applicants have arrived yet. We have Mr. Lacour now. We could start with Mr. Lefcourt for 320 Columbus Avenue.
Okay, 320 Columbus Avenue.
So Mr. Lefcourt. You have
Hi.
the floor.
Oh, thank you so much. I didn't realize I was first. This is great. Thank you for having me.
You're the
Uh,
number one right now. It's good.
Where I could tell you a little bit about what we're working on, what I've done in the past. Where would you like me to begin? What would be good?
What are you working on, Mr. Lefcourt?
We're working on designing a restaurant on 75th in Amsterdam at 320, I'm sorry, Columbus, 320 Columbus Avenue. It's a small pizza pasta restaurant with a bar. And we're super excited. We have a team of people that has worked on some of our other restaurants, which include the Smith at 63rd and Broadway and other locations of the Smith around New York City. And this is our first venture into another style restaurant, a different kind of restaurant, and we're thrilled to be on the Upper West Side in my hood.
That's wonderful. We love the Smith too, so in all its locations.
Well, thank you.
So you're coming in for how many tables, bar, and your hours of operation? Do we have that? Can we put that up, Christian?
Yeah, we have, yes, hold on a moment.
Look at this. Jesse does this. This is like amazing. Hi, Max. Okay. So this is the restaurant and a theater?
No, it's a different applicant.
Different applicant.
Sorry, this is the, yeah, this is the wrong applicant. Sorry about that. Oops, there we go.
Although I see Mr. Bialik and the panelists as well as Hebron Levy, so we can promote them for the next review. But this is 320 Columbus. Hi, Jeffrey. Doug Kleiman here.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Does anyone know anything about this place?
That's great. For those of you who didn't see, Andrew just the little shot. He's walking by the Smith right now. So,
Hey, Andrew.
Okay, so your hours are 8 a.m. to 1 a.m. So you're going to serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And you're going to serve pizza?
Pizza and pasta, exactly.
Breakfast pizzas?
No, it's a cafe and restaurant. So coffees and we'll make pastries and things like that. So it's a nice place for the neighborhood to gather in the morning, the afternoon, and the evening.
Anyone anybody want to talk about it? Anybody from the public here? Doug?
oh well, I'll just say I'm a big fan of Mr. Lefcourt. And by the way, even though you actually had another incarnation, which I helped you with years ago, the Neptune Room, which
That's
my
right.
God, the Neptune Room.
that's right. So I think you are one of the best operators. We're very lucky to have you, and I'm very excited that you're going to be doing something on a small scale. I'm conflicted as to whether or not I should vote because the landlord rep is my company, and
Are you working on this directly, Doug?
no, I'm not. But my company did, so I may declare myself ineligible. But I am absolutely in support of this. It's going to be fantastic. Anything they touch is fantastic.
And my former client was
wait to
Glenn
see what you
Coben,
do.
designed the Neptune Room.
What's that?
Glenn Coben designed the Neptune Room
You're
That's
right.
right. That's right. And Compass.
for
That's
years.
right.
We're still close. All good.
Thank you, Doug. Appreciate all the nice words. Thank you.
Well, it's all true.
So,
I see Nicole. Go ahead.
Nicole,
Hi, Jeffrey. I'm Nicole Painter, the director of the Columbus Avenue Business Improvement District, which this location is in, and we're so excited to hear what's coming. If you don't mind, I'll connect with the committee later to get your contact info,
For sure.
and we can move forward with getting people out to your new location.
Awesome. Yes, happy to connect with you.
And sorry to interject, but Jeffrey, you're also part of the Lincoln Square bid too, I think, right?
Exactly, yes, big supporters, and whatever we could do to help on Columbus Avenue, we're excited about that. We've done the Taste of the Upper West Side, which is right
Yeah.
over there before, so yeah, so we're excited to participate however we can.
this is wonderful. Well, does anybody have any questions?
Those of you that are under the attendees list, you can always raise your hand if you want to ask a question.
Anybody?
I just say very exciting, great operators, great people.
Great. Okay, so call the question.
All the question.
All those in favor, raise your hand. So I see 1, 2, 3. Andrew, you're actually a non-committee member today. Just a small technicality since you're acting chair.
Ah, see that? Interim chair is all these things. Okay.
Okay, so committee vote is 5000. No, let me look at the hands.
Okay.
Non-committee member.
Ira think was voting. Hey, Ira.
Ira and Seema are yes, and Andrew goes yes, so that's 3000.
Awesome. Okay.
Okay, now before we continue, I want to make an announcement. At the full board meeting, we erroneously indicated that the Office of Cannabis Management was going to be present today. We did invite them, but they were not able to attend. So I would apologize for that. They will be with us next month.
Yeah, our next full board is when, October 3rd, on Monday, October 3rd.
Yeah, the Monday, yes, right.
Right.
Okay, so next, I think we have Ariel Ferreira for 635 Amsterdam Avenue.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. How you doing? Ariel Ferreira, representative of Mia Management. I have Rangu Mia here, who's the owner. I have Valerie Coverto, who's the consultant on the project. We're here to speak about the item here at 635 Amsterdam.
I'm going to cut you off very quickly because I can't write that fast, Mr. Ferreira. Who's the owner? What's the owner's name?
Rangu Mia. You want to introduce yourself?
Mia. Okay.
Hello, hi.
Hi, welcome. Okay.
Then we have the consultant on the project. You want to introduce yourself?
Hello there, how are you? My name is Valerie Crovetto, and I'm gonna be helping Mr. Mia, to manage this place. We have a large amount of years of experience into this business. So we are bringing something new for the community that is gonna be suitable for all the families around us.
Wonderful. Por favor. Otra vez es su nombre. Dime su nombre.
Valerie Crovetto.
Vale.
Valerie.
Valery.
Okay, thank you. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Now, we're all ears.
Oh, so we are bringing to the community, we are remodeling the space on 91st and Amsterdam. And we're going to bring to the community different concept, which is going to be a seafood restaurant that is going to be more like family style for everybody. We don't have late hours. It's not going to be noisy. And we are going to operate lunch and dinner from probably 11:30 to 9 p.m. and probably on Saturday and Sunday to 10. We're going to have a bar business a little bit. We have a nice patio outside that we are going to use all year around. We are just being very cautious about all the steps that we have to follow for this pandemic that we have had. So that's the excitement that we have. We want to bring a different cuisine into the community for all the families around us to enjoy them.
Sounds wonderful. And when do you anticipate opening?
Probably by the second week of October or late October. That's the.
Oh.
Yeah, we started construction. We got our permits from the city as last week. So we are moving forward with that. We just want to have a really nice.
Sorry about that, sir. My mistake. I'll just unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
Just repeat it.
Oh, okay. No. What I said, we are just we are remodeling this space to be comfortable for everybody. So we are just following every single rule that the New York City is letting us know. For handicap, so for everything that it has to be with health department, fire department. So we are following every single statement that they have mandated to us. We're building a nice space that is gonna be comfortable for you, clean, very safe.
And you're going to have background music?
We're
Yes,
gonna have just a little bit of background music.
yeah, just background music more for ambiance purposes, and that's the only.
Yeah, it's a restaurant, it's not a club. We don't want to be like loud or anything like that. We just want to manage something that is, we're based on food, most.
What restaurant was there, since you're building it so quickly, what restaurant was there before?
Yeah, that was Blockheads used to be there.
Blockhead.
Blockheads.
This is, yeah. Well,
Oh, right, yes, locals.
anyone have any questions?
Otto?
Oh, it's not as much of a question. I've spoken to the owners, and I'm excited. I think, with all due respect to the owners of Blockheads, who are nice people, it was a loud a crowd, and there were some issues there. I am not worried at all about you guys, especially the type. And I think I'm very excited and very supportive. You've got a great outdoor area there, and hopefully you'll do something beautiful. And your other neighbor on the other corner is also a great operator. So I think you're really going to give a nice little upgrade. So I'm in full support of this.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Douglas. Thanks.
Doug's always ahead of the game, and he had told us that there was a new owner coming in that we'd be really happy to meet. So we're so happy to meet you.
Well, I know you tried to get on our agenda before, and I know we lost a little, but hopefully that's not going to cost you any time in your build out. So I'm glad you're here today, and then you'll be again at full board.
So shall we call the question, folks? Oh, wait, Peter, you want
I
to?
just wanted to ask, I'm really curious about how you're planning to stay open all winter. It's something that we've tried up here, and I'm just curious how you're gonna approach that.
And I have the right answer for you. So we are gonna build outside on the right side of the restaurant. We have two doors, one that it connects to the bathroom and the other one connects straight to the kitchen, and it goes to the patio. We are gonna enclose everything. So we are gonna operate the outdoors. So, but it's not gonna be those plastic things that you see outside. So this is gonna be actually a pergola with a plexiglass, and it's gonna be for summer. So even if it snows or rain on summertime or winter time, we are covered. So our guests are not gonna suffer for that. So
Okay, thanks.
Enclosed with nice windows and planters.
And I assume you've got permission from your landlord. Because
Yes, we do.
you and I have the same landlord.
Yes, of course. We do. No. We have an agreement with them, and they like what we're going to do because we have to present menus, the whole project, and also what we're gonna be doing outside. And he loved it because it is actually really clean and nice, and it looks very, very nice from the corner, because we are in a corner. So we have to make sure that the corner is going to be like, it's gonna look good.
So this sounds wonderful. So does anyone have any comments? If not, let's call the question.
Okay, all those in favor, raise your hand.
Pardon me?
No.
Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And with me is 5. Let me lower the hands. Non-committee members. That's 1, 2. Is Andrew still with us? Did he drop that? Andrew, you voting yes? And you're muted.
Yes.
Okay, so that's 3000. Okay, so it gets approved.
Okay. I'm looking at the Q&A. There's a Heather Clerk.
Yeah, I promoted her already, so
Okay, great.
we can go back to number 1 now.
Okay.
26, 24, 26, 26 Broadway.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for adding me as a panelist. My name's Heather Kirk. I'm here as representative from Heilbronn and Levy. I'm here with Mikey Trafton and Tim League as well, who are both, I believe, on camera. We are here in reference to Metro Cinema 1 LLC, which is located at 2624-2626 Broadway. This is an old theater space that has been vacant for, I believe, about 15 years now. And the team is looking to come in and open a new theater concept in this space. The Alamo Draft House came before you guys back in 2013 for this location with the intention to open a theater and was approved and subsequently approved by the New York State Liquor Authority, but unfortunately was never able to move forward with the project. And we're here before you guys for a theater as well. I'll turn it over to Mikey to introduce the team and then we'll answer any questions that you have.
Yeah, thanks, Heather. I'm Mikey Trafton. I'm one of the owners of Metro Cinema and my partner, Tim League.
Hello, and I'm the founder of Alamo Draft House Cinema, and so I was intimately involved in the 2013 project. I was really excited about it then, and ultimately at the end of the day, if you recall, that was in the wake of Hurricane Sandy. The construction costs were really expensive, and it kind of blew up the project, which was a thin margin. But now we're coming back and taking another swing at it. And this time we've fully executed the lease with Al, so there's no turning back. But what we've done is we've come up with a new plan to add multiple screens and have a little bit more of an upscale dining experience. So very similar in a way to Alamo Draft House Cinema, where it's first run movies. We'll also have classic films as well in the mix, multi-screen, and but it's going to be a little bit more upscale. So Alamo's more pizza, sandwiches, and salads. We'll probably have some of those things, but we'll also have more full entrees and a really nice wine list. And there will be, a small bar basically, but that's just for people to gather before they go and see their films. So we're very, very excited about attempt number 2 at Metro Cinema.
So what kind of activities would you be having there?
It almost predominantly movies. So it's first run movies, meaning a first run means the movies that are out opening weekends. If it's Star Wars weekend, we'll have Star Wars, but we'll probably have a pretty diverse slate of films from, blockbusters. We'll also have independent films and foreign language and documentaries playing as well. So.
In the application, you had a mark. You have check mark video/arcade games.
We're not going to have any arcade games. I think because we have video screens, we could do other things. But it's a cinema. It's the same use as Alamo Draft House would be.
Yeah, we have sometimes we have private events who want to play video games on the big giant screen, or sing karaoke on the big giant screen, or host a meeting on the big giant screen of presentations. So that's what that video game use is talking about there.
Okay.
Thank you. Anthony? Yeah, we haven't heard from you.
So I just want to say, just a comment. I'm like super, super, super thrilled and excited that you're doing this. I mean, this place has been empty and it's been dead for so long. Like, I remember the thrill and excitement about Alamo coming, and then the heartbreak when it didn't happen. So just my support, cheering you on, and God, please let this happen. Seriously.
It's wonderful. Doug?
Yeah, I just want to say this is really a breath of fresh air. We've all in this community been very, very concerned as to what's going to happen at this theater. I wear into several hats. I've walked through the space. I've spoken to Mr. Bialik, who I note is in the attendees. I don't know if he wishes to be on camera. I believe he's not an applicant to the license itself, is he?
No, he's not.
All right, so he's not required, but I see he's listening in, and that's great. So I got to tell you, I think a lot of people were afraid that, with all due respect to Mr. Bialik, that he was the boy that cried wolf, but apparently not. So I am thrilled. And if you guys do something that's similar and even better than Alamo, you're going to kill it over there in a good way. So all the best to you, and you have my full support. Very exciting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Andrew.
You got to unmute. I can read
Yeah,
lips.
that was noisy. Sorry. I'm just joining. That's my neighborhood right there. So we're just thrilled that it's opening up. I just echo that. I think everyone in the community is. And I'm sorry if I missed it. I'm on the street right now. What time are you planning to operate until? Because personally, I think over in this area, the later, the better that there's people on the street and there's activity is good for the neighborhood, as long as it's, positive activity and there's kind of attention to maintaining, the street.
Yeah, so traditionally, movie theaters that you will have a 7 o'clock round, then we'll have like a 9:30, 10 o'clock round. And that 10 o'clock round traditionally will let out, 3 hours after that. So there will be occasions where when the big Star Wars movie or Avengers comes out, that we'll probably have a midnight round as well. That's most nights, 98% of the time, 95% of the time, we'll probably be finishing up the last rounds around 1 o'clock or so.
So we're really talking about 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. I'll look up the methods of
We applied, I believe we applied for till 3 a.m., but that's only because occasionally we will have the big movies where we'll do a midnight show. And so, but it's not a regular course.
Sorry, and if I missed it, the bar that you mentioned, that's just going to be for like ticketed guests, or is that going to be something that's open to walk-ins?
It's open to walk in, but it's fairly small, right? So it's just in the front space of the building, and we'll have also the mezzanine also with seating areas. Yeah, so it is open to the public, but it probably won't be like advertised, if you will, because it's largely for guests to gather before their movie and maybe to hang out and have a drink afterwards, just because it's so small.
Got it. Anyways, thrilled. Thank you.
How many people will you be accommodating there?
I think it's 176. Mikey can correct me if I'm off a digit there, but it's around that, under 200.
Great. Okay.
Peter?
Sure. Thanks you. This is a great thing. Looking forward to it. I still have a scrap of the carpet from the from the metro. It's like 1 foot by 1 foot.
I would love to see that, honestly.
I'll figure out a way to get you a picture or bring it over.
Yeah, great.
In any case, but it's that will be a tremendous boon to Broadway and that block. And whatever you can do, as late as you can stay open. This community would support any type of movie at any hour of the day. And we've done history talks on movie theaters in the neighborhood regularly with the Bloomingdale Neighborhood History group. So just be aware of it, that there's a lot of history buffs in the neighborhood. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Dan Cook and Mark Elliott.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
My name's Dan Cohen, and I am with Friends of Metro Theater, which is a neighborhood group that's in one way or another has been existing on and off for maybe as long as the theater has been closed. We are very excited to hear Tim and Mike tonight and their proposal, and we are, I guess, maybe cautiously optimistic, just because I feel like we've been down this road before. I'm sure many of the folks on this board would share that occasional shark bit feeling, but we are very pleased. And if in fact you all open, I'll be first in line to get a ticket. Maybe Doug and I will be arm wrestling to be in first in line, but we're pleased to see you making progress, and we wish you luck, and we're excited to see it. Thank you.
Mark Elliott.
Hi, Tim and Mikey. I don't know if you can see me. I don't think my camera's on, but I spoke in favor of the Alamo Draft House back in 2013 in front of the community board. So I never thought I'd see the day when you would return. I actually live in a building next door to the Metro. So having that darkened theater for 15 years has been the albatross around our block's neck. So it's great. And there have been a lot of uses proposed, but to have it return as a theater is fantastic. So welcome to the neighborhood. And I may know where your missing R is. For those who really know the Metro, you know on one side of the marquee, the R is missing because it fell off.
Oh.
And I may know where the R is. So you can get in touch. You can get in touch with me. I'm sure in one way or another. Peter Arnson knows who I am. So
great. I am in the market for an R.
Yeah. Okay. But welcome, and we look forward to working with you as good neighbors.
Fabulous.
Derek Schwartz.
Hi, how are you? Just like Mark, I actually live in the building next door. So I
Cedric,
can say this much, we're very, very excited to have you guys come in because it has been empty for so long. And I'll just say that I think it'll be a wonderful addition to the neighborhood. I did have a couple questions though, as far as like soundproofing for the buildings, because it's between two buildings and everything. How is the soundproofing going to be? And also the second question is, how long will it take to get up and running?
I can't give you an exact date when we will be up and running, but we're very close to hiring a general contractor. So you'll see the work begin relatively soon. And then in terms of soundproofing, the theater itself has sort of side hallways. So there's already sort of a wall, then a barrier, then a wall between the buildings. Something I'm quite proud of is our ability to build SDC 65 soundproof walls. So we are not going to bother any adjacent neighbors with sound. And frankly, if there's anything that is bothersome about our operation, then I will make myself very available with my contact information to rectify it as soon as possible. But we're designing it to have very soundproof rooms. We've done that for a long time, and we're definitely doing it here.
Perfect. Thank you.
Deborah Rosenberg?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see me, but that's fine. Hi, again, I'm gonna sort of reiterate what everybody else has said. We have been desperate for this for years. Albert Bialik knows who I am, and we have all been working, probably everybody in this community have been working towards this moment. So I can't thank you enough. I do wonder, I think I might have misunderstood you. Is the time that you'll be open from, will your first show be at 7? Is that what you said?
Well, that's the evening prime. Like most movie theaters have, maybe a 1 o'clock p.m. and a 4 o'clock p.m. show. We're not sure. On the weekends, for sure, we'll have those. It'll probably be demand based whether we open up that early on weekdays. So I would imagine, if I were to guess, right now we'd be open at a 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 10 o'clock shows 7 days a week, and we'd probably have an additional show on the weekends.
Okay, so as long as there's a 4 o'clock, because I know that there is a need. There are a lot of seniors in this neighborhood, and generally they tend to populate the earlier shows, and 7 is maybe too late for some of the, it just, the later dinner, so the 4 o'clock, I think, would be, you would definitely get some players for, half of the community would be there for.
Right.
So thank you, though. Again, I genuflect in front of you.
Hold on, Mr. Idelson, you wanted to speak?
Yeah, apologies. This may have been answered. I just didn't hear. First of all, huge fan of the Metro, huge fan of the Alamo. The only problem with the Alamo is there hasn't been one near me, so I've only been a few times. Also a huge fan of beer. But my main question, which you may have answered, is how many screens? Because I remember that being when it changed from 1 screen to 2 screens, and the second screen, it was pretty tight. So what's your plans for the layout?
We honestly haven't finalized 100% of the number of screens, and we're hoping to do quite a few smaller, kind of, still going to be an immersive cinematic screen. But I don't have an exact count on the screen count yet. So, but it'll be multiple screens. Yeah.
To do Star Wars, you're going to need at least one big screen. I just hope you have the room to do what you want to do.
I think their operators will figure it out. Tony Iacolucci.
Hi, thank you. I also live right next door to the theater, and I welcome you. Very happy to have you. I have a request. If you could be mindful in your construction and your practice to make the theater accessible to people with hearing loss. Hearing loss is definitely on the rise. I see heads nodding, so that's good. You're aware of that. So what I would encourage you to do is to request from the producers, the distributors, to have films with open captions. Years ago, hearing people did not want that. They found it annoying, but now everybody's looking at foreign films and captioning are very common. So people like me can't go to movies unless we have captioning for English language films as well. So I would just request that you try to get those films in whenever you can, so everybody can attend. Thank you. Good luck.
You bet. And we will. Thank you.
Deborah?
Hi, I just have another question. Long ago when I was in the space, I noticed downstairs there's space enough not for a movie theater, not for a screen, but for, say, a black box theater or maybe a cafe. Are you going to consider using the downstairs area, the below the main floor?
Yeah, that's our intent, to utilize that downstairs space as well. Probably for like you say, smaller screens down there.
Because there are a lot of Broadway actors up here also who have actually said that they would be willing and happy to have something like a black box theater there, but that might be, off your charts, but something. I mean, there is.
We'll probably be sticking to movies, but I think going into live is not part of our business plan now. But I'm always a flexible guy, so I'm open to opportunities.
Okay, thank you.
You never know how many of those actors are going to be in films.
Yeah, true.
That's the Upper West Side. Doug.
Yeah, I just wanted to, this is outside of our purview, but I think many of us commonly know that the marquee is landmarked.
Mm-hmm.
So there was some concern that it was in disrepair and we don't want to lose that beautiful marquee. So I just wanted to know if you have plans to shore it up. And I assume if you're going to make changes, you'll be before our LPC committee.
Mm-hmm.
And also I just wanted to make clarification. I think a lot of people are hearing that you're formerly of Alamo, but this is not an Alamo per se. You used to be with the company, is that right?
I'm still with Alamo, so
okay.
I'm the executive chairman of Alamo Drafthouse. I'm actually sitting in the 28 Liberty Manhattan Alamo right now in the manager's office. So this project is largely Alamo funded, but it'll be going under the brand name of Metro Cinema. So it's Alamo adjacent, and we'll do cross promotion on marketing when it's time to open up. But yes, it's part of the Alamo family, but it's not going to be called Alamo Drafthouse. We're trying to establish like a little bit higher end brand. But we work well together, and I'm going to continue to work on both Alamo and Metro. And then on the marquee is definitely being restored. And those pylons that are currently shoring it up now will go away once the structural work is redone on the inside to fully 100% support that. So that'll be coming back, relit to its glory. It'll look quite beautiful.
And he's looking for an R.
And an R. So as soon as I get that R.
If I can just add, in fact, the entire facade is having a historic renovation. So all the terracotta and the cool medallion, those are going to be all beautified, and it's going to be really wonderful.
Exciting. I think Vanna White has your R, but by Val. That sounds great. Great news. Great stuff.
Andrew Ridge, you've got your hand up and you're muted.
Sorry, it's loud, so I'll say it quickly. I never tell people how to run their business, but my one recommendation or something as a community member I would appreciate, take down the phone number and the for rent advertisement on the front of the building and the awning, and it would be great to say like something exciting is coming or something to build some enthusiasm. Because I just know from people in the community, they keep saying they heard about this deal and they heard about that you're coming, but they keep saying for rent, so no one actually believes that it's happening. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, so I also wanted to say I'm looking forward to seeing movies over there. And there was one question on the, it says here that will the theater hold big premiere red carpet like events?
We certainly love red carpet events. We will accept them if they come our way, right? So we will.
When you show up, Christian.
Always a red carpet.
but we probably are a bit too small to get very many on them.
Yeah, the bigger ones will probably still go to the bigger houses, but who knows? I mean, it might be just right for certain movies, and we won't say no.
Okay.
Take
So
one
we-
more question from
Yeah,
Claudia.
one more question and then we will vote.
Yeah, Claudia,
You have to mute yourself, Claudia.
Claudia, you're not unmuted. We see your hand. Okay.
Okay, so let's move on then. Okay, so let's call the vote.
Okay, let's call question. All those in favor?
All those in favor, raise your hand. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think we lost Anthony.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 5000. Let me lower those hands. And then non-committee members. 1, 2,
Yes.
3, and 4 with Andrew. Okay, great. That's 4000.
I see a lot of our fellow, I'm just want to make a quick announcement for those who are here, because we thought we were going to get OCM tonight, but they had a conflict in there in Brooklyn. And I guess you can't do a Zoom in Brooklyn and Manhattan at the same time, go figure. But so we're not going to get them tonight. They're going to be here next month. So I apologize if anybody's been inconvenienced. So,
Okay,
but
so
we do have,
let's move on to 768 Amsterdam Avenue.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
thank you. And we're so looking forward to this. Okay, what's next?
768 Amsterdam Avenue. You have the floor.
Okay, 768.
That's Mr. Tejeda, Mr. Veras. You're muted.
Where are you?
Mr. Veras is present, or at least.
Is he here?
Yeah, Mr. Tejeda, why don't you start there?
Mr. Aurelio Taveras? Okay.
Yes.
Hello.
Aurelia, hello.
Hi.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go there.
Yes, Daniela. Yeah, Aurelia, we're on the community board. Hi, hello. Which one? For Pico de Gallo, they're listening. Yeah, I'm sorry. We have like 3 community boards meeting today. So, yeah. Yes. My name is Daniela. I work with Aurelia. We're representing Pico de Gallo. Yeah. Sorry.
You got so much noise in the background.
Yes, that's
Daniela, what's your last name?
Mosquera. But her name is Aurelia Taveras. She's the legal representative.
Okay, she's the
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, continue.
Yeah, the legal.
Okay.
So yeah, let me okay. We're representing Rincón Mexicano. Pico de Gallo. This was a previous license. It was Guacamole before. We are applying for a full restaurant with recorded music and live music. It's just a 2 mariachi, non-amplified music. There will be no outside area. I think the owner is here, Omar Tejada.
Hi, good afternoon. I think what you meant to say was that we will not be doing any live music outside. Fortunately for us, Guacamole did an amazing job soundproofing the place. So thankfully for me, I am inheriting a space that is very prepared not to be intrusive to the community.
Hi, I'm the representative on the application. I'm sorry, I was on another community board. So if you're community board 4 downtown, if you'll excuse me, I'm sorry, Mr. Tejada, for arriving late. Yes, this is formerly Guacamole. I don't think this is a location of controversy or any issues. We will be having outdoor pursuant to the New York City Outdoor Dining Initiative. It is permitting owners to put out an outdoor dining shed. There is no music in the shed, and we don't anticipate having any music there at all. It's not permitted any outside at all. And the applicant has an extensive history in the hospitality industry. He has not only worked in the hospitality in restaurants, he's also worked in a hotel. I'd like Mr. Tejada to elaborate and tell you a little bit about this new owner and a little bit about what he's proposing for the establishment.
So Good afternoon. Thank you very much. I appreciate the intro. So as Ms. Taveras was kind enough to mention, for the past 15 years, I've had plenty of experience in hotel work, in restaurant work, in bar work, lounge work. And I understand that this property is in a great position to satisfy customers in the community and become a great meeting place for folks to gather and enjoy a great time.
I don't.
And it is beautiful.
What are your hours of operation? I don't have that in front of me right now.
It's 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Weeknights and 2 a.m. weekends, Friday, Saturdays.
Correct.
Okay. Anybody have any questions here? Do we have any speakers?
Yes, I have a question. Thank you. The application's representative said that they're planning a street shed. Is the restaurant shed already there? And if not, it is.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Ms. Stenton.
Okay, thank you.
It was grandfathered in, but we do not intend to change the use of the shed. So it will remain compliant as is.
Seema?
So I think I remember in previous iterations of restaurants at this location that there was a rear yard cafe, open air cafe that in previous restaurateur experiences was really quite bothersome to the neighbors. The noise would travel quite a bit. And I'm wondering what your plans are for that space and how you will handle noise and hours, that kind of thing.
The rear is an outdoor space it's kind of in a vacuum. It's kind of a little tunnel. So there was music or sound, even people dining outside was troublesome to the neighbors. So what we're still working with, it's already soundproof. What we're trying to work with is get final approval from the Department of Building and signing off on that with the architect. So the location, I don't think we've had any noise complaints since then. And if we already we're putting the manager's name and phone number in the front, should we have it, but we haven't had any issues with the premises since we took measures to remedy the problem.
Mr. Barris, wouldn't that be a separate liquor license application?
No, there's no beer, there's no license outside. We have one bar where it's part of the establishment.
You would need a separate license, I believe.
We're serving alcohol outside from one bar. If we had a separate bar outside, with stocked, we would need an additional license. You are correct, Ms. Alexander.
Okay, Peter?
Christian, did you just say my name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Sorry. Yeah, I was going to bring up the same thing that Seema just did and recommend that what we've found with other locations is that having umbrellas, awnings, those all help. They don't preclude the noise, and just trying to do whatever you can to make customers aware that they're working within a residential area is positive. And I think that the idea of having a phone number that somebody can be reached at will go a long ways towards dealing with any problems or potential problems. But really welcome you. I run the Columbus Amsterdam Business Improvement District, and feel free to reach out to us. I'll look forward to adding you onto our Bloomingdale Restaurant NYC list with information about your hours and such like that. So look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Doug Denarena?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, first of all, I am generally in support of this application. And I appreciate everything that the applicant and their representatives are saying. I will take exception to the fact that, and just like Seema said, there was an issue. There were a number of issues. In fact, I just took the liberty to go through the SLA tracking, and there were about 4 complaints in 2022. So I just urge you to proceed with caution. And because your predecessor, I would say, had a number of problems. And there were times that I actually, as a member of this committee, had to go up there with the NYPD and inspect the backyard. And, so I am great support and am optimistic. Proceed with caution. There is a history here, and I'm not blaming you for that. Thanks.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Sorry, I forgot to take my hand down from my last question.
Okay. Okay, so any other questions? Okay, let's, all those in favor, raise your hand. So that's 1, 2, 3, with me 4.
Natasha, this is just members. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, non-committee members now. That's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the vote is committee members 4000, non-committee members 3000.
Thank you, everyone, and have a fantastic evening. I think you'll be pleased.
When do you anticipate opening? That's the most important question.
We're open. We just don't have the license. The previous owner surrendered it. So as soon as we get our temporary permit, we'd love to have you there. So please, welcome.
Be our guest.
Welcome. Okay.
Thank you. So we have now 2130 Broadway, Mr. Contoyanis.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. We are applying for we already have we're Beyond Cafe on 75th and Broadway. My name is Eric Contagianis. Sorry to introduce myself. We've been there at the restaurant and for the community for about 20 years right now. I think December will be the 20th anniversary there. We already have an existing liquor license of wine and beer. And ever since the Beacon Bar has closed next door to the Beacon Theater, we have a lot of customers asking for a little bit harder than just wine and beer, just like, simple cocktail drinks or something like that. So we are applying for a full liquor license.
Wait, is this Beyond?
Yes, Beyond.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
On 75th and Broadway.
Yeah.
We have another one on Columbus and 85th. That one has a full liquor license as well.
Yeah.
Any questions? Oh, okay, in that case, all those in favor, raise your hand.
Yep.
That's 1, 2, and 3 with me 4000. And then non-committee members. That's 1, 2, 3, 000. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank
you very much.
In our neighborhood, we really appreciate you. Thank you.
So,
thank you. We love serving you guys.
Last but not least, of the liquor application, we have 49 West 64th Street. Mr. Cesar.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. I am Alex Teixano. I am the manager at 49 West 64 Restaurant LLC, where we currently have a full liquor license for our business. We're only submitting an alteration to our floor plan. There is a change. We're extending the bar by 3 feet, and there is also a change of the former raw bar into a kitchen preparation area.
So you're extending your bar by 3, your full service bar by 3 feet.
Correct.
And which, I'm sorry, sir, which restaurant is this? This is
So this is the
49 West 64th. That's the name of the restaurant? Oh, wow.
The 49 West 64 Restaurant LLC. It's the name of our business. We have 2 DBA for this business. One is Atlantic Grill, and the other restaurant where we're extending the bar, it's Rampoldi. It's upcoming.
Oh, Atlantic Grill.
Yes, yes.
Can I still vote because I eat at Casa Limon all the time?
Yes, we see you there almost every other day.
No. Probably Friday too. Midtown guys.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Any questions?
Thank you. I had a question about the second part of your request. You said you're submitting an alteration to the floor plan, and then you said extending the bar by 3 feet, and then you said something else and I missed it.
The previous space had in place a roll bar, an oyster bar. We're changing that from an oyster bar to a chef's preparation area.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
Okay,
Other than
so,
that, there are no changes to our method of operations.
What are your hours? I'll look it up, but
Currently at Atlantic Grill, we opened, for the moment, we're open 5 p.m. To 10 p.m. during weekdays and 12 at noon, Saturday and Sunday till 10 p.m. We expect to open on Rampoldi side probably 11 a.m. till 10 p.m.
okay.
okay, so all those in favor, raise your hand. That's 1, 2, and 3, and with me 4. Hold on a second. Then non-committee members. That's 1, 2, 3. So the vote passes 4-0-0 and 3-0-0-0.
Wow.
Okay, thank you.
So we'll see you Friday. I have a new staff member.
Looking forward to it. You have a great evening. Thanks for your help.
Thank you.
Okay. So that brings us to the presentation by the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce.
Yay.
Mr. Vela.
Great, wonderful. I'm happy to join you all. Thank you for having me. And if I may share my screen here.
Yeah, let me allow you to do that.
All right, very good.
So, and you're at Vincent Vale, Manhattan Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm the restaurant hospitality specialist. And I'm here to represent also the Small Business Resource Network, which is kind of the organization that we use to connect small businesses with programs. So really any small business sub 100 employees, we really look to support throughout New York City.
Okay, you can go ahead and share the screen now.
Great. All right. Perfect. Okay, let's see. Let's get us started here. So, as I said, we're here to support small business. We work in every borough, but, let's really talk about the Upper West Side. The Upper West Side does have quite a few restaurants, obviously, which I'm focused on, but, a lot of small businesses. And we're really working to connect them with grants and programs to support them as they come back from this kind of, challenging experience that was created by the pandemic. So we're here to provide that economic and, to an extent, operational support for them. These are some of the groups that we are working with and who we're associated and affiliated with. Every chamber is part of the Small Business Resource Network. As I stated previously, we're here for financial guidance, marketing expertise, technological support, legal and business coaching as well. There you are for that. These are all the ways you can sign up and learn more about us. We do send out representatives every day who go out to meet with businesses and conduct intake so that we can find out what their needs are and how we can best support them. We do offer a variety of language services, and they are all available there. All of our contact information. And as you see, we do oversee every part of Manhattan. When I first moved to New York, I did live on the Upper West Side. I now live in Washington Heights. And as part of this, we're really focused on helping these businesses that have, I would say, some sort of kind of legacy in New York, and doing the best we can to keep them open and operating. To date, we have interacted with 30,000 plus businesses within New York City, and that's in all 5 boroughs. And many of them have received grants and utilized other programs to help their everyday operations. And again, just there's more information of who to contact here. So, I just want to keep it short and brief, and I'm happy to answer any questions. But what I really would like to put out there is that we are here to support the community, and it's our goal to keep, I think, to support New York as it comes back during this kind of economic kind of hardship. So, thank you.
Thank you. We have some members here of the community board who are especially concerned about, actually, let me just preface this. The Office of Cannabis Management was originally scheduled to meet with us tonight and being put off for another month. But as a chamber, I'm sure some of our members, some of our community board members would love to talk to you about that and your perception about what is going on with the retail, the cannabis retail.
Yeah, so I would say, for me, I don't really have an opinion on that. My focus is on restaurants. We are, and we do, support what has been legalized, and following kind of the guidelines that have been set up by the city and state. So we do, encourage and support any business growth. So, our goal is to just, would be to comply with a business that was looking to open a cannabis business.
Right, Natasha, did you have any questions for him pertaining to this?
Yeah, thank you, Linda. Yeah, I was just wondering, any kind of illegal activity or suspected illegal activity, would that be reported to the Chamber of Commerce? Like, does the Chamber, because I realize you give grants and support, but, these establishments that Linda is talking about, they're not completely transparent, and there seems to be a lot going on over there that should not be going on. So do you have any opinion of that from the Chamber of Commerce's point of view? I know
Natasha, just to clarify, you're talking about smoke shops, right?
Yes.
So yeah, again, I don't really have an opinion, because I think, for us, we work as a resource connector. So we're really connecting established business with programs that can help us. If someone does want to open a cannabis business, we actually are referring them to the Office of Cannabis Management. And again, with those grants and the money that is put out there, we're actually, again, the connector. We're connecting them with, the Empire State Development Fund and other kind of local city, state, and federal organizations that are providing funds. So, I'm sorry, unfortunately, we don't have any kind of, it's very new for us, the cannabis industry. So any kind of questions that we get from a small business that's looking to get into cannabis, we refer them to the small businesses services division of cannabis.
But it's a hospitality endeavor. I mean, this is what we're talking about. It will be just like a restaurant selling beer or wine.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, if you want to get into my personal opinion, it's been legalized, and I think we just need to follow what the parameters are and what has been kind of decided as what is legal. And I think as a community board, I think you have the right to agree to or object to a cannabis industry coming into, or business coming into your neighborhood.
Actually, so far, sir, OCM has made sure that we are not going to be part of the decision making. That they've been, we're the district. So maybe this is something that SBS should be involved with your, and the chambers. They're going to have an impact on our communities.
Would you be able to quantify how many businesses have taken advantage of your services in the last year?
Yeah, so like I said, we've had 30,000 plus businesses engage with us, and that is 30,000 businesses that have fully taken part in the programs we've offered. So some of that involves, just connecting them with a grant that they received. Some of it could be using consulting services. Some could be having a website made for them. All those kind of things that are maybe not the purview of many business owners. They don't have, skill sets for every section.
And would you be able to share the presentation with us so that we can put it on the website?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to send that to you.
Thank you.
Of course.
Doug?
Yeah, so I recognize that you're a restaurant specialist.
Yeah.
I am too, but I do a lot of other things, and we are the Business Consumer Issues Committee. So I realized that we kind of drew you into the cannabis discussion, which was, we kind of conflated that a little bit, but it's important to us. I think one of the questions I have, and I don't know if you're able to answer this, It's so I represent a lot of different kinds of businesses and landlords, and there was a law passed pre-pandemic requiring all nail salons in New York State to properly ventilate their pedicure and manicure stations so that no, chemicals are. It's mostly to protect the employees as well as customers, and there seems to be a lot of confusion around this because I do have multiple clients as to what's going to be required. Some people think that there's an extreme requirement of having to ventilate this all the way to the roof, which would mean that every single nail salon in the state of New York, which are thousands, would have to then vent to the roof. I do not believe that's the requirement, but whatever it is, it's obviously for the safety of employees. So I support the purpose of it, but I do see that it's a hardship and it is an extra expense. Existing businesses, which I know you focus on, are having to comply. They have a certain amount of time to comply, and then new businesses that build to the code have to do it immediately now. But this is costing a lot of money to businesses that are already in trouble. Do you know if there's any grants to comply with this new health code? Because I think you're going to, if you haven't heard about it, you're going to hear about it more and more because it's really getting phased in now.
Sure. So I don't, there's nothing specifically designed for that. However, there's a New York seed grant that's available right now. And that is, I believe it's for businesses doing sub $1 million in sales. Depending on the amount of sales, that is how the award is calculated. And that money can be used for operating expenses. So that is that is something that they could apply for.
It's called SEED, SED grant?
Yeah, give me just one moment, and I will give you the full name of it. But it's it's the New York. One moment here, I'm gonna bring it up here so I can give you the full name. All right, it's the New York State Small Business Seed Funding Grant. And this grant consists of $200 million. Sorry, the grant was funded with $200 million. And it's for early stage small businesses and micro businesses. And these are businesses that have opened prior to September 1st of 2018.
Before September 2018?
Yeah, hold on here. Actually, it's for expenses incurred between September 1st of 2018 and January 1st of 2022. I'm just looking for the start date here. So sorry, at the moment it doesn't have the. Oh yes, okay. So yes, it is prior to September 1st, 2018.
Thank you.
And so this would be funding projects that is through January 2022. It was stuff that was already done. So, during the pandemic, the requirement that I was talking about for this was delayed because for obvious reasons, and now it's being phased in. So if someone needs to do work to comply, we're certainly past January 2022 now. So it would only be for someone who did the work in advance if it needed to comply. Or I'm talking about future work now so that apparently this grant is not going to work for applicants, for these businesses that need to do this now.
No, it wouldn't work for funding that specific project, but I'm sure there are other expenses they've incurred within that time that they would like to be reimbursed or covered for.
Great. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay.
I'd like to invite Nicole or Peter if you have any comments on this.
Nicole?
Nope, I'm just listening. Thank you.
Okay. Peter? No? Okay. Okay, so thank you, Mr. Vela. That was,
thank you for letting me share.
That was informative.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so we move on to new businesses now. Anybody has new business?
I do, actually. Can I say something?
Go ahead, yes.
I don't know if this is the right forum to bring this up in, or maybe it's the transportation committee, but the restaurant Bitola on 412 Amsterdam, it shut down recently. But what they've left behind is their outdoor dining shed. It's totally derelict. It's full of, I don't know, furniture pieces and trash, I think, from their own restaurant inside. They were having a sale 50% off, 20% off of everything. But I don't know why they didn't bother to get rid of the dining shed itself. It's taking up at least, I think, 1 or 2 parking spaces.
Yes.
That stretch of Amsterdam Avenue is extremely crowded and very dangerous as far as traffic is concerned. And frankly, it's attracting rats, litter, trash, all sorts of people smoking all sorts of things, urinating in the middle of the night. So my question is, and this is something that I'd asked, I think, more than a year ago also, what is the responsibility of business owners who leave, and then they leave behind these giant structures that are a complete blight on our community? And who should this be reported to, and whose responsibility is it? Like Bitola was, their owners were there like for days, weeks and weeks, like saying goodbye to their old customers, but they didn't bother to take this off. It's really infuriating.
I don't mean to jump in. This is Nicole from the Columbus Avenue bid, and separate from who should do it. Right now, you can report it. I can send a link to Linda and Christian to 311 to DOT. They are taking down these structures that are left over.
All right, I can do that, but frankly, it should have been the restaurant's responsibility. It should not be the public's responsibility to clean up after these restaurants.
I think
Absolutely.
It's very infuriating.
And I agree, but I think we're going to see a lot of it.
Yes. And unfortunately, if they go out of business and they leave,
Yeah, and I read so much in the press about the owners of Bitola, how very well respected they were and all that. But then, I mean, they leave the street the way they did. It's totally disrespectful to the rest of
it
us.
is. I agree. Okay, Doug.
You guys all do like together. Doug, you're muted.
I'll go after Arena. I'm sorry. I think she may have had her hand up before me.
Okay, Arena?
So I was going to suggest to Natasha what Nicole suggested, but I also wanted to agree with Natasha. This was the problem we had with the enclosed cafes, years ago, where the restaurants would get licenses to bring them in. I'm noticing a couple of things. I do think that we should think about in the future when we get requests for restaurants, that we have this conversation with the operators and owners in advance, particularly if they're seeking license. I know some people don't like to tie the liquor license to but it's about credibility and integrity. And if you're going out, you should be responsible for removing what wasn't there before you came. But I do think what's happening is that some restaurant owners are selling the shed to the next owner, and that's why it's staying open. So I think that might be part of the problem, but I'm increasingly noticing that as restaurants go out, the sheds are staying up.
Yeah, and this shed, you should walk past it. It's actually, it doesn't look like anybody owns it. It's totally abandoned.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the best built. It wasn't the best built shed to begin with, but we had a conversation with Colleen a year ago about this, and all she asked us to do was, identify the addresses and the locations of the abandoned sheds and send it to her. So I guess that's where we'll start. So we have, we can, and you're right, it is a BCI issue.
And in the future, as we get the applicants for liquor licenses for the municipal space, which that will be the Broadway, we will certainly can have this conversation with them.
We have the new restaurant that on 92nd Street that's going to use an abandoned shed, right?
Yeah, but you can't really rely on that. A new restaurant may come in the next day, but a new restaurant could also come in, more than a year later. So, it's not really a solution.
Doc?
Yeah, so I just wanted to say that number one, I believe that this particular site, I think we apply. I think there's a new tenant already coming in there, and I think we even didn't we review the application for the former Betela? I think they've already leased the space, and perhaps a new restaurant is going to be utilizing it.
I don't remember myself. We'll have to look it up.
All right, so we can look that up. But this has been very much publicly discussed. In fact, there was a photo op with Mayor Adams taking a sledgehammer and knocking down some abandoned sheds. So, and I've actually even heard our own Andrew Ridgie with his other hat talking about how they generally support removing sheds that are not, that are abandoned for all the right reasons. I do believe that within the new rules and regs, the removal of them is going to be part of it. In fact, the new construction, which we have yet to, the new rules for the new construction, I do believe there's an important element that it is removable, because I think it's going to be more seasonal. So I think some of these concerns are already being addressed. And I do believe that DOT is indeed removing the ones that are abandoned. So I would definitely go with the 311, because, the 311 is recorded and it doesn't go away because of our open data. So I would definitely do it. And I think if it's not going to be utilized by a new tenant, they will probably take it down.
And we can also reach out to DOB tomorrow. I'll shoot an email over to Colleen with the address.
As we know with the city, they only usually provide certain resources for certain tasks, and we know they have to do this all over the city. So, it's something if you notice that something is there too long, repeated 311 calls wouldn't be out of order.
Yeah, we can all make those 311 calls. I'm with you on that, Natasha.
Thank you.
All right. So, any other business?
Hey, Nicole, you want to tell us about the upcoming event?
Sure.
Exciting.
Friday, September 30th and Saturday, October 1st, we have our 14th annual Taste of the Upper West Side. We would love everyone to come out. We have almost 40 restaurants each night, different restaurants. A lot of them are new and it will be their debut. So you'll get to check them out before anyone else can. If anyone attended last year, we had more of an open air setup, and it will be the same this year for safety. And it was just really nice to be outside more. So we'd love to see you there. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm right between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. So you can eat before you start fasting.
Exactly.
Peter, do you have any announcements? Okay. Okay, so
no, we're continuing with the open streets. We anticipate that through the end of October, and have events going on. I think we've shared them with the community board.
Right.
The next thing coming up is our celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month and Mexican Independence Day happening this Saturday. And on Sunday, we're doing an e-waste collection, so that if people have e-waste or televisions that are illegal to throw out, bring them up, and Lower East Side Ecology will truck them away for reuse.
Wow.
That's from 10 to 2. We also have textile recycling happening on this every Saturday. So
good to know.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm glad that we'll be doing the OCM stuff next month. It's really heating up. It's getting ugly out there, and I'm
gonna suggest the office, see if they can get someone from the police department.
Yeah, this has become, unfortunately, a really political thing, because you've heard Gail Brewer speak publicly. The NYPD and New York State have to coordinate, and apparently they're not doing anything.
Right.
And I have lost count of the number of shops that are openly selling. In fact, even I was in Columbus Circle last night, and there's a guy who just set up shop on the street selling marijuana, as an individual, just, with a sign. All right. But the retail brick and mortar, they're you've heard me say it before, they're now open in stores. They couldn't even get a liquor license because they're right next to a school.
Right.
So this is, and for anyone within my earshot, none of them are legal, not one.
Right.
None. So if they're selling cannabis they're doing it illegally, and there is zero enforcement as far as I'm concerned. And I don't even know how legitimate operators, of which I know at least one who would like to open, who's doing it properly, has already said, I will not subject myself to failure and open up in the middle of 8 illegal ones.
Right.
I'll go out of business. So it's the whole ecosystem is failing. Marijuana is supposed to be grown in New York, processed in New York, sold in New York. Nobody knows where this stuff is coming from, if it's dangerous, if it's, and it's probably not coming from New York. And we are millions of dollars in tax money is going through our fingers. And we're all talking about raising taxi cab fares and raising Metro cards. And we are letting millions of dollars go through our fingers. And I am disgusted by it. And I'll say that at our next OCM meeting.
Yeah, I do share your outrage, I know. Okay, so we thank you all for coming. And it is likely that this could be our last Zoom meeting. I believe since the governor no longer has the emergency powers, that we would not be able to do a Zoom going forward. I mean, we'll be able to do hybrid, but you're going to have to come in person.
So yeah, but you never know with the Zoom. They may continue it. Look, I was supposed to be. People are meeting again. I was supposed to be at an event tonight, so.
Yeah, but the governor doesn't have the powers anymore because she relinquished them.
Right.
Interesting. Oh, we'll see how that.
Okay, great. So I will see you all next time. And thank you for coming. Yeah.
With OCM. Thank you.
Thank you all. Take care.
Yeah, have a good night.